Oh, hey, Machine Lord. Oh, starting off strong with Raid right in. How's it going? Thanks for the shout outs on my own channel. Hey, Jan, how's it going? You are tired, Machine Lord. What were you playing? You're playing the Dark Side Detective. How was that? And are you tired because you were just streaming a lot, or? Yeah, and you have a bit of a headache, but otherwise you're okay? Oh, sorry you have a headache. Glad you're okay, though. Otherwise. Just to warn everyone in advance, I don't actually have any specific limitations to how long I can stream, but I am incredibly tired, so if I fall asleep at the wheel, you heard it here first. Oh, hey Sarah C. Thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Kiara. Yeah, and, yep, more Phoenix Wright Fridays is always good. Yep, and for those who aren't aware, this is basically I'm at the end of on the last Friday, Saturday of every month. I always move my stream to, well, on the last Friday I always move my Phoenix Wright stream to Saturday because I have a programming course. Which ironically might turn out to be kind of useless because the language question it's for has actually gone has actually become paywalled instead of open source. But that's besides the point. And Zero, the game was mostly alright. Ran into a puzzle that was difficult due to poor communication, and you're tired because of your sleep schedule. Ah, that's fair. I think luckily GMT means I'm going to get an extra hour's sleep tonight, so I'm all set. Also, I don't mean to brag, but on Thursday I ended up being surprisingly cute in scroll makeup. Make of that what you will. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay, camera's working. So, quick recap for those who haven't been watching along. Long story short, an art exhibition was going to show off treasures from Maya, Phoenix Wright's assistant's village, and a master thief has apparently stolen an urn, which was a major piece of evidence in the second game. And the prime suspect has asked us to become his lawyer and defend him against the theft charges. Anyways, that seems to be working. So let's see where this goes. October the 13th, 9:36 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4. Hey, Nick. What is it? Is something wrong? Nah, but did you see all the people here? It's crazy. Oh, so check out the DeMasque glossy I bought. You bought this where? From the little tents in front of the courthouse. They have all sorts of things for sale. You know I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. DeMasque publicity photo stuck into the court record. A shot of DeMasque striking a pose. Come on, I'm guilty. Throw the book at me. Who's screaming like that? Oh, Mr. Wright, you made it. Yeah, I did. But it doesn't look like things are going to get any less ugly for you. Because I did it. I'm the criminal. Me. He's at it again. I sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor. I admit it. This might hurt his defence. But you don't have the sacred urn, right? Well, that's true, but that doesn't mean I didn't commit the crime. Normally when I say of course he didn't, I'm being sarcastic, but you? Yikes. Anyway, I admit that I'm guilty. So make sure they give me a guilty verdict, please. Pleading out's a thing, you know. Trials are very expensive. Oh, there you are, Ronnie. Bonjour, sweetie. Oh, Desi, honey. Bonjour. Well, actually, I don't really know why I should be speaking French to you at a time like this. Leave it all to me, Ronnie. I swear I'll protect you. Well, you see, the thief is me. Can I tell you something, Nicky boy? I can guarantee that my Ronnie is innocent. If he's declared guilty, I'll be ever so cross with you. So why are you smiling when you say it? Okay, that's scary. Well, if you'll excuse me, I've got some errands I need to take care of. I'm counting on you, Nicky boy. Hey, Kiara. You just got gifted a tier 1 sub. How you doing? You know, I was very disappointed to learn that Twitch doesn't actually give out sandwiches. You're okay? And yep, I'm good. Sleepy from work, but I spent the day at work dressed as Lambert, so swings and roundabouts, I guess. Zero, would I trust Twitch provided sandwiches? Yeah, good point. I mean, any food provided by Twitch is the exact opposite of complimentary, am I right? Kiara, you just got up. Oh, what happened to the early stream? Machine Lord Zero, that's not Nutella. Indeed. Anyways, I'm counting on you, Nicky boy. Good luck. You watched Human Centipede, and you don't stream. A shout out for the very cool streamer Kiara Strings, please. To be honest, I don't know whether Ron is DeMasque or not. But there's only one thing I'm sure of. He doesn't have the sacred urn right now. Mr. Delight, it's time for you to enter the courtroom. No, do what I say. This is my channel. I rule it with an iron fist. I'm not actually going to hit my laptop. For the time being, I guess I'll have to trust Aviary. October the 13th, 10 AM, District Court, Courtroom number 6. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defence is ready, Your Honour. Okay, what kind of voice do I give this guy? What about the prosecution? Are you prepared to... What a stupid question. Does that work? What did you say? Fine. Let me ask you then, Your Honour. Are you ready? Wait, are you ready to pass judgment? Hey, Nolus, how's it going? I'm just trying to work out what kind of voice to give Goddo. Are you ready? Wait, are you ready to pass judgment? What? No, I'm not. I will pass judgment after I hear arguments from both sides. Well, if you're not ready yourself, you shouldn't expect others to be. That's a rule to live by. Who are you? I am Goddo, legendary prosecutor. I've never lost a case. Ah, he's the one Detective Atme was talking about. You're playing magic and being miserable because you're playing magic and everything else. The usual. Aww. Could you do me a favour and give Kiara a shout out? She won't give herself one. Yes, your reputation precedes you. You think the medication you've been trying is fucking up your stomach? Ah, that sucks. What kind of cases have you dealt with so far? And thanks for giving Kiara the shout out. None. Zero, Goddo is up against a player character and has an undefeated record. He's about to encounter an all-you-can-eat turd buffet. Yeah, he's fracked. What did you say? I've never prosecuted a case before. Never? But you've said you never lost before. Exactly. I've never lost. Never won before either. Well... he's not wrong. Quite arrogant for a beginner, aren't you? Even the mightiest of redwoods begin their lives as mere saplings. Yes, but a mask in a court of law? Don't you know anything? No matter the man, we all wear masks. Either on our faces or over our hearts. He's on his first case and he's speaking like a Reddit subreddit. This guy's the real deal, alright, Nick. Why does it seem like all prosecutors are the real deal? So we finally meet Mr. Phoenix Trite. That's a good point. Everyone should be wearing masks. We're in a bloody pandemic. Nick, is he a friend of yours? No, I don't have any friends that call me Trite. That I know of. Like, Edgeworth calls me Trite, but we have a safe word for it. Jonas. Yep, it's the coffee man. The man who likes coffee. Just who is this masked man? You never got very far in Phoenix Wright 3. Well, confession time. I actually got to the final case but never completed it. But yep, Goddo is very cool. I've returned from the depths of hell. Still not quite sure if this is the voice for him, but... to do battle with you. Well then, Prosecutor Gobbo? Do you know Prosecutor Croc? It's not Gobbo. It's Goddo, Your Honour. In any case, please give your opening statement. Machine Lord Zero. He's not wrong about having never lost, but you still want to put a stick up his butt and wrap it in tinsel like a Christmas tree. Jonas got to the final blank but never completed it is you at 90% of your games. Yeah, it's kind of a thing most people do, I think.
Opening statement. Those are not fit for even dogs to consume. I have only one thing to say before we start. To you, Mr. Trite.
What is it?
Are you familiar with the saying? A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. I wonder how much you can withstand before you and your case break in two.
How would a dog consume a statement? Good question.
Roughly. Well then, let's hear from the first witness.
R.I.P. my vocal cords.
My name is... No one has asked for your name, witness. The important thing is what you know, that's all. Start talking. We're listening.
Zero. Goddo, you're going to fill Goddo's toilet cistern with detergent. Oh no, that'd make all the water blue.
Yes, sir. Alright, witness. First, let's hear about what you know about the thief that stole the urn. Yes, sir.
DeMasque's crimes.
DeMasque is a master thief that started his crime spree 6 months ago.
That's a pretty short career for a master thief.
He's so confident that he sends his calling card before he even commits the crime. This was his 5th heist, and as usual, he sent a card on to Lordly Taylor. His pattern is to always go after only the most precious art pieces. That is why we're sure it was Master DeMasque, sir. It fits his MO to a T. So, then the actual identity of this Master DeMasque is... Mr. Gordo? What are you? We're in the middle of a trial here, Mr. Goddo. I mean, whipping the defence is allowed. Throwing things to the defence is allowed. But drinking a coffee? No eating. We follow primary school class laws here. Blacker than a moonless night. Hotter and more bitter than hell itself. That is coffee.
I like to think I quite like coffee, but, you know, white and full of sugar. That is how I take my coffee. Yeah, I was actually thinking that, Zero. Master DeMasque is Goddo. The judge has made the ruling.
I'm sure you can grant me at least this much, Your Honour. Oh, please proceed. Very well, it's only coffee after all.
What? You can't be letting him slide this early in the trial.
Proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Zero. You maintain that most people don't like coffee. For evidence, you present all the ways people try to hide the taste of it. Well, let's be honest, in the morning I drink just coffee with a dash of milk in it. I only get syrups when I sort of want something particularly fancy. Well, Nick, what are you going to do?
As long as they haven't brought up Mr. Delight's identity, all we can do is show that it wasn't Master DeMasque who stole the urn.
Have you been involved in the investigation from the beginning?
Yep, no one knows more about the thief than me, pal. It's true. I'm a Aviary author on thieves.
An author? He's written books about thieves?
I think he probably meant to say authority. Found this guy could slip through even my fingers. Shows how good he is, pal.
It's easy when those fingers happen to be butterfingers. Guess we're pressing harder on the fingers. So nobody knows more about the thief than you, huh?
You got it, pal. Except maybe for the thief's mum, that is.
Or his wife. But hey, he's a straight guy, so what's the difference? Am I right? Yeah, that landed differently than it did in my head. Let's move on. But there isn't someone who knows even more about him than the police.
You don't mean Detective Aviary, do you?
Who is this person? Zvari? He sounds German.
His name is Luke Atme, sir. I guess I shouldn't have made up such a silly name for him.
What the heck? I guess he's not all that famous after all.
Anyway, it's true that he did manage to retrieve the last item the thief stole.
Oh, I see. It seems you're not the expert you claim to be.
It looks like the thief is toying with me, even now.
Have you seen any of these so-called calling cards?
Of course I have. Except the person in charge of the treasure exhibit never brought their card to the police. So I didn't see this one until after the crime occurred.
Sorry about the yawn. How does Gumshoe still have his job? I mean, he got fired at the end of the last game. Presumably Edgeworth keeps hiring him back because he's loyal. That's because Detective Atme stopped Miss Andrews from taking it to the police. Was the calling card that Lord Taylor received authentic?
Well, all the cards have one common identifying feature, but we're not releasing that information to the general public.
But you're absolutely certain that this card is real? Gumshoe can't say it out loud, but I bet he's talking about DeMasque's emblem. Redeem all character voices. Nolus, oops all Gumshoes, pal. Except Gumshoe is Sparrowson. What the hell, Nolus? Okay, fine. This was his 5th heist, and as usual, he sent a card to Lordly Taylor. Okay, I'll do that for 10 minutes.
His 5th heist. And your 5th screw-up, huh, pal?
Objection, pal. That ain't fair. Maybe you could say I screwed up 4 times. But this last time wasn't my fault. I didn't know about the calling card this time.
You of all people shouldn't be chuckling about this, Detective Gumshoe.
I just wanted to get everyone here in the courtroom to know something. If you ever get a calling card from this guy, don't call some stupid private eye. Call your local police right away. Got me. Okay, this is the exact opposite Sparrowson energy. 0. Nolus is just flinging a sack of loose spanners in the general direction of the works. Wow.
Wow, looks like he's really got it in for Detective Atme.
His plan is to always go after only the most precious art pieces.
Art pieces? Like what, for example?
God, my voice. Well, his first target was the famous Tear of Eminem.
What's that? Some kind of especially salty teardrop?
No, sir. It's a blue diamond. A single rare diamond. Next was the crown of Bongora. You know, the thing you put on your head. After that was the left hand of Hades. And then the portrait of Megina. Sir? Detective Atme retrieved the portrait of Megina and returned it to the museum.
The target of its fifth and last robbery was the secret urn, right? But isn't it difficult for him to dispose of such famous art pieces?
Well, we assume he must have some underworld connections.
Somehow Mr. Delight doesn't look like the type. Yeah, he's a little too sunny to be hanging out in the underworld.
That's why we're sure it was Master DeMasque, sir. It fits his MO to a T.
What do you mean when you say it fits his MO to...
It fits his MO to a T.
Pal? I was thinking of asking the same thing myself.
I wish you would listen a bit more closely, pal. First of all, there's a calling card. We're 100% certain it's authentic. You really should have only did the last bit, especially after I said Gumshoe is already hard, but the meme was too powerful in your head. To be honest, this is kind of fun. Then there's the fact he seems to know all about the security system. And finally, his target was an art piece. These are all part of the thief's modus operandi.
And so, since this robbery seems to fit all those conditions...
That's right. It means that Master DeMasque is behind it.
Nick, it definitely looks like it was Master DeMasque who stole the urn. But there's no real evidence, either way, as to whether Ron Delight is Master DeMasque. But... Also, the urn hasn't turned up yet, let alone in connection to Mr. Delight himself. So even though we know it was Master DeMasque that did it, maybe for the time being, I should try to show it wasn't Master DeMasque that did it.
Okay. Yeah, Mayor is pretty much very similar in nature to Sparrowson. I mean, to be fair, Sparrowson's probably quite, at least partially inspired by Mayor. And all the other Phoenix Wright assistants. Right. Well, another 5 minutes of it, I guess. Okay. What evidence do we have? Supposedly priceless. Yeah, we could try that. Well, actually, Mayor's priceless treasure is worthless, so there.
Can I ask you a little something, Detective Gumshoe?
Just hearing the little in that question is making me nervous.
You said he always goes after the most precious art pieces, right?
That's right, pal.
But there's one problem. That's not what he did in this case. The supposedly priceless urn doesn't exactly rise to the level of precious art.
What do you mean?
Nick, how can you say such a terrible thing? No, I mean from a financial point of view. I mean it wouldn't fetch a good price.
Nolus, you've got another banger of an idea, but you shouldn't be allowed to spam voice challenges.
Well, Pusciutigotto, what's the value of that urn? The appraisers I spoke to said they couldn't attach a price to it, and I mean that in the worst sense. So in other words, It was not the kind of item that Master DeMasque would normally go after. If I understand you correctly, Mr. Wright, you're saying that the theft of the sacred urn was not the work of Master DeMasque. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Actually, all I did was point out the contradiction. The argument made itself. But... well, first of all, we need to get this issue cleared up. Was this last robbery the work of Master DeMasque or not? What do you have to say about this, Mr. Goddo? This coffee here is my own special blend. I call it Goddo number 107. I'm trying to decide whether to cut down on the acidity or the bitterness. That's the only thing I've got on my mind right now, Mr. Trite. What? If you're really a man, you should clean up your own mess. Sorry, but I don't get what you mean. If you're saying it wasn't Master DeMasque that stole the urn, then it must be someone imitating Master DeMasque's methods. A fake. A fake Master DeMasque. Fake DeMasque. That sounds so ridiculous, but I like it. Now, before I decide on my coffee, I believe some proof is in order, Mr. Trite.
Zero, Goddo is absolutely the kind of person to sniff his own farts. And Jonah says, only because they smell like coffee. I mean, neither of you are wrong.
Proof that the person who appeared at the Lordly Tailor that night was actually a fake.
Zero's counter-argument, how can you know that without having sniffed them first? Can't believe my chat is such a forum of debate.
Though I don't approve of Mr. Goddo's behaviour, his point is valid. Mr. Wright, we're waiting.
Okay, we're back to normal voices again. It looks like I'm going to have to prove it. I need proof that the person at Lordly Tailor that night was in fact fake DeMasque. Yep, you're right, Nellis. This is exactly how the internet works. Maybe I could just take a stab in the dark and say it was... The proof is right here. Oh no.
This just looks like a photo taken by a security camera.
But if you look closely, you'll notice something peculiar about it.
Heh. Well then, why don't you go ahead and show us what it is?
What's all that in the right? I think it's paint. What's fake about this then? Oh, thanks for the host, by the way, Kiara. It's right here, I think. Notice, what time did they say the camera went off?
Is that what's so peculiar? Huh. The place you're pointing to is all wrong.
What? What do you mean?
The only thing peculiar in this courtroom is on top of your head.
Nick, are you just going to get gets away with making fun of your hair?
Yes, at least until I know he can't use his goggles to fry me or something.
Was it past midnight or like the wee hours of 3 or something? You honestly don't remember. I think it was supposed to be about 1 AM, so...
Well, anyway, there is a strange spot in this photo. Huh. Still haven't given up. So what is it then? Go on. Use this pointer and show us what about this picture is so peculiar.
Maybe it's the box. Nope. Click, click, click. Okay, let's try the timestamp just in case. Nope, I didn't click on the paint. Nope, it's not the paint. Look at the paint again. Look at the paint again. Nope. The edges of the pool. The edges of the pool, you say? Oh. Oh. I thought that looked unusually, straight. Oh, that could be for something else. Never mind then. Okay, what's unusual about this? Ah, that's where the box had been. Does the column of the bolts mean the picture was taken outside? No, I think it was No, yeah, I think the underground storage room where that happened was If that's where the box had been, where's the paint on his hands? That's a good point. Maybe I was just off centre then. Syria, there's a thing that's bugging you. The top of the frills on his torso piece where the collar joins together. Oh, here we go. Good job, Zero.
It's right here, of course. You mean DeMasque? I have here a piece of reference that I would like the court to take a look at.
Isn't that the publicity photo I brought this morning?
Oh. The problem I have with the security camera photo is the brooch on DeMasque's chest. A breach? Here, bailiff, get my steed. We need to retreat at once. What? Brooch, Your Honour. It's a sort of clasp for holding one's cape on. I should know. I wear capes all the time. A clasp, eh? Ah, I see now.
A diction error. Brooch and brooch are not the same. Game's been a spot the difference game this entire time and didn't tell us.
But the Master Mask in the security camera photo. He has no brooch. That brooch is the same as the emblem on DeMasque's calling card and serves as his symbol. But the thief that broke into Lordly Taylor wasn't wearing a brooch. In other words, this Master Mask is a fake. I've been fooled again. Who would be so disappointed in me? Order? It's true. Undeniably true. Detective Gumshoe? How could you have overlooked this? I'm sorry, sir. I don't know how I... Hey now. If you're gonna have a pity party, invite me too. Mr. Goddo, you deserve some blame in this too. How could you have overlooked such a large brooch? The brooch you're talking about.
Hey, Summer B. Oh, you came with the Zero raid and you're AFK. Fair enough. How's it going? Oh. Gibbous, eh? Isn't that a type of hat?
Do you mean this? Ah. That's Master Mask's brooch. Where'd you find it? Well, I've always had a good news for evidence. I got it at the crime scene. It was hidden up in the statue of a big female Buddha statue. Buddha statue. He must be in the Ami Faye statue. Why didn't you tell me about that, sir? I always put evidence away in my pockets. After all, it's the safest place for crucial evidence.
This guy's one cool customer.
It's a little early to be shaken up, isn't it, little lady? That friend of yours left pretty little hickeys on there too.
Yep, no less.
I always remove evidence from the random crime scenes. It makes me look cool later. This actually makes me very bad at my job, but I look great doing it. Her keys? Figuratively speaking, of course. I'm referring to Ron Delight's fingerprints. What? What? The defendant's fingerprints are on the brooch?
Sorry I keep yawning, by the way.
Order! Order in the court! Mr. Goddo, let's see that brooch. I've grown attached to my metallic girlfriend here. Take good care of her. What? It appears to have been torn off some clothing. There's a little bit of cloth left on the back. Obviously, there must have been a big struggle that night at the crime scene.
Yeah, he is kind of creepy, Zero.
Oh, Phoenix, we have a problem.
DeMasque's brooch added to the court records. Found in the shadow of the Amy Faye's statue. Looks like it was torn off some clothing.
Huh. You mess with Goddo. And you get burns.
So why's the outfit in the photo so unruffled and lacking in tears? Good question.
He's been playing me like a violin. Well, Judge, I'm about ready to call my next witness. You're done with me, but I haven't proved anything yet. You've proven your own incompetence. That's good enough. That doesn't sound good at all. Bailiff, bring in the next witness into the courtroom.
Finally, time for the ace detective to make his appearance, huh? I hate this guy so much. But then again, I'm not too fond of this guy.
1 second is one drip of the coffee pot. Let's hurry it up.
Shh! Silence!
Now I see. It's all becoming clear. What's clear? Zoe, the truth has once again been elegantly revealed to me. What we have here is a judge and a prosecutor. A coffee maniac at that. Am I correct? Well, yes, that's right. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Zero. Normally clowns have big red noses instead of big red visors.
You're the first person who's ever been able to penetrate my secret veil. Well, Sir Persecutor, let me introduce myself.
You've only just met this guy and you want his underpants to turn to steam and scold him badly. Why are you getting all these insults from, Zero?
My name is Luca Tami, ace detective and rising star illuminating the heavens.
This sounds like the witness and prosecutor may be too intimate. Boy, these two make a perfect pair. Oh, Mayor agrees with you, apparently. Whoops. Oh well, might as well save.
They'd either be best friends, or they'd tear each other's heads off. I've heard that on the night of the crime, you were alone on security detail. You have heard correctly. My specially made monocle is worth more than 100 Detective Gumshoes. If Detective Gumshoe was worth anything, that is. Why is this guy all by himself anyway? There must be some reason, I'm sure of it. Well then, tell us what this special monocle of yours witnessed.
What I witnessed.
It was approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date changed. That's when my nemesis, the infamous Max DeMasque, dancingly descended upon me. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike. When I awoke, he was gone.
No less. For some reason you thought Godot was blind and the visor was a weirdly futuristic artificial eye. Probably read that as a theory on TV tropes or something. "30 minutes later, I used an emergency phone to notify the police."
So you didn't get a clear look at the criminal?
My specially made monocle never misses a thing. However, that is limited to things that fall within my own visual range. But of course, that's only natural.
I fail to see the one that witness seemed so proud of his performance that evening.
Well, sir, old-timer, let me explain. We're not dealing with any ordinary thief, but the king of the thieves, the great Max DeMasque, my arch enemy of 6 months. That is what my instincts and my years of experience tell me. How's he able to tell it was 30 minutes if he was unconscious? Must have set an alarm.
Very well. Proceed with the cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, so he just checked his watch. That could work as well. I'm so tired.
So that would be 1 o'clock on the morning of the 12th, correct? That's an impressive deduction, Sir Lawyer. You were on security duty that night. Where exactly were you at the time? A penetrating question. I was in the basement warehouse, near the computer. Near the computer, huh? So then, you weren't trying to remain hidden, I take it. Up to this point, I have tried to remain concealed while waiting for the thief. Yeah, you said that same thing yesterday too.
Gamshi also said they never spotted the thief at the crime scenes before.
Precisely. That is precisely why I chose not to hide last night. I knew that by not concealing myself, I would be putting pressure on the thief. Looks like the thief was the one applying pressure. On your pigeony head, that is. In any case... Dancingly descended. From where exactly? Well, from the entrance, I suppose. Where else? So in actuality, he neither danced nor descended. Someone please save me. So how is it you didn't notice the thief? My eyes were looking for the thief's shadow while my ears listened for his footfalls. But even so, the dastardly criminal managed to sneak up on me. It can only be due to his subtly camouflaged cape and soft-soled shoes. Hereby, W. A stunts.
This guy.
You didn't see the criminal's face when that happened? Well, that's the difficult part.
How should I put it? The way DeMasque, you mean me talks, gets close to reminding you of yesterday's stream. I saw his mask. That's all I can recall.
That's not very solid as far as testimony goes.
However, fortunately, I had my third monocle, the security camera, at the ready. It captures his image perfectly. This should be sufficient, I believe.
Well, as long as this photo is authentic, I don't see a problem here. Well, Mr. Gatto, do you have a problem with the photo?
What's up, Zero?
Good. Then let's continue with the testimony.
Attacked and knocked unconscious, and you weren't able to do a thing. Good question, no less. Attacked and knocked unconscious, and you weren't able to do a thing. That's certainly some very impressive detective work. Well, Sir Lawyer, have you ever been so suddenly struck on the head? Canonically, yes, at the beginning of the last game. Huh? Well, actually, yes, by a fire extinguisher. Okay, there we go. And what happened? I was knocked out. And you lost your memory too.
You see? You have no right to look down on me, then do you?
Yeah, that's a point. Yeah, Notice is right. The picture comes from after the altercation. Doesn't explain how he got in there. Undetected, though. The only reason I didn't lose my memory was because I have more brains to begin with. He may have brains, but the wiring to the self-reflection part seems to be severed. In any case, that was how I was knocked senseless and then... Oh yeah, that's the point. Brioche is lost during the altercation, picture is taken, then has the encounter. About this 30 minutes. My silver cord was loosened, and my soul fled to the golden halls of Elysium. As usual, I have no idea what this guy is saying. I think he's saying he was out cold.
So, what happened during those 30 minutes?
No one can say, Your Honour. That span of time has truly vanished into the other.
Just what is he going on about?
There's something suspicious about Detective Atme. Really? How did he not have noticed when the thief came in?
Also, he says it was knocked unconscious before it could fight back. But that can't be right. It contradicts the evidence.
Huh? Which piece?
The real question is, why did he tell such an obvious lie?
Elysium is where the cool dead people go. Asphodel is for the scrubs. Yep, that's true. The Elysium Fields of Greek mythology. Of course, they were all in Tartarus. Zero, you want to peel him? Christ. The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honour. I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I'll have to penalise you, Mr. Wright. Whoops. Oh. I must be on the wrong track. You don't even know that from Percy Jackson, only from Hades. I think I need to double check, but I think Tartarus might be the actual unpleasant afterlife, and then there's just the more boring afterlife around it. Ah. He was hit on the back of the head. Okay. No less. Originally Tartarus was used only to confine the dangers to the gods of Olympus. In later mythologies, Tartarus became a space dedicated to the imprisonment and torment of mortals who had sinned against the gods, and each punishment was unique to the condemned. Fair enough then. Ah! Before you could strike a single blow my arse. Mr. Atme, could you take a look at this with that special monocle of yours? Aha! This belongs to the criminal mastermind, my arch nemesis, DeMasque. It is in point of fact, DeMasque's brooch. It was found on the floor of the basement warehouse. I wonder how that happened. Ha! Elementary, my dear lawyer. Obviously it wasn't glued on well enough. Okay, while there's no background music. That's right, Kiara. Time for a washroom break. Not quite. It clearly shows signs of being ripped off a piece of clothing. Zero, you don't glue a brooch on you, Walnut. Who taught this man how to fashion? Well, I mean, look how he's dressed. And thanks for the TASMR emoji, no less.
Ripped off? Oh.
We can only deduce that the thief struggled with someone that night. I see two of them, no less. That's the only thing I can think of. And there's only one person that was in a position to have struggled with the thief. The only person that was on security duty that night. You, Detective Atney. Dear Detective Atney, you must have fought with the thief that night. So why did you lie in your testimony to the court?
Witness? Giving false testimony is a serious crime. Which pretty much everyone just gets a slap on the wrist for. No. Wait just a moment, Sir Old Timer.
No less. Asphodel is like boringness. People who didn't achieve great glory go there and just forget their identities. According to Wikipedia, it promotes militarism. Makes sense?
Don't talk to me like I'm living in a nursing home.
I just remembered, Your Honour. I was confused because I've been dealing with so many cases lately.
The true measure of a man is in the amount of work he does. That's what I always say.
Nick, you can only handle one case at a time. Isn't that right?
You talk too much.
Zero. I just remembered. Pronounced. Wait.
I just remembered.
Pronounced.
Bullshit mode engaged. Witness? So are you now saying that you and the thief fought? Hold on. That's quite enough, Your Honour. Excuse me? Save the big questions for the testimony. That's one of my rules. Indeed, I understand. I look at me, agree completely.
The fight with the thief. Or fight.
Indeed, it's true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. However, Luke Asme cannot be so easily discombobulated. Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and rendered me senseless. A true gentleman fights only with his own fists, but they were not enough. His first blow struck too, true. Bam! And that's all she wrote. So in the end, you did catch a glimpse of DeMasque. Correct.
It was during his third crime that he struck from behind. It seems that my memory has become a tad jumbled, so to speak. Yep, that's true. His gloves and his ring are kind of weapons. Weapon.
Well, that's certainly understandable. I myself always get confused about which testimony goes with which case.
No less, Would it be bad form to do another voice redeem? It's a simpler, probably easier one. Yeah, go for it. I might have to consider putting a limit on them. Yep, judge no, Zero. That can't be good. Redeem character voice. Quote judge. Quote number 17. I just made the judge sound like a catgirl. I'm going to hell. No less. Okay, fine. Judge Nya, it is. So why'd you look away from the door anyway? In addition to the camera, I prepared a variety of other sensors as well. The alarm on one of those had gone off, so I went to check the data. That is when I went to the computer. Elegantly, of course. So you were why gotta say momentarily? So you were momentarily vulnerable while you're working on the computer. What should I do? Should I ask some more questions? If you waited until next week, you wouldn't remember the idea. Thanks for the clip, Kiara. So, did that computer belong to Lordly Taylor as well? Correct. Well, except for the program that manages the data. That was specially designed by me, Luke Atme. In that case, he could have easily manipulated the data. What's wrong, sir lawyer? You only just got the name. What kind of sensors are you talking about? There are other places in the basement that someone could enter and exit from. There are air conditioner ducts, sewer pipes, and a cat door as well. I hooked up heat detecting infrared and ultraviolet sensors to each of them. That's a lot of hardware. Was it all yours? Lordly Taylor department store was kind enough to provide the monitoring hardware. Naturally, the security camera that took the photo belongs to them as well. In other words, you couldn't have rigged the equipment, huh? Has that cleared up any doubts you have had about me, Sir Lawyer? I agree, no less. Discombobulate is a good word. Although, Zero's right, he has already said he was discombobulated. What does that mean? Discombobulated? Young people these days, they really irritate me. They all allow perfectly good old words to die out until everyone forgets what they mean. Sorry. Oh, I forgot to do the catgirl voice for the judge. Sorry. Sorry, but what exactly does it mean anyway? Yeah, I've forgotten. What was I saying? Jeez, it's better than normal people who forget what they were saying 5 seconds ago. Well, looks like we've cleared that up. You can go on with your testimony. A perfectly cromulent word? You're correct, Kiara. What do you mean by weapon from the side? Naturally. The thief had no idea that I, Luke Atme, was hiding in the area. He grabbed the sword from the statue that was standing by the door to the warehouse. Sword? You mean the sword that was all twisted like a tree branch? Correct. Unfortunately for me, the blade was not sharp.
Okay, so he is talking about the Shito.
So, the thief named himself with a sword. And what about Mew? What about yourself, witness? That's true, Adamy did say he wasn't hiding earlier.
You had that much faith in your own fighting abilities?
But of course, in college, I was second in charge of the boxing club. Yeah, I am sorry if I failed to find that probably impressive. However, my opponent in the ring this time was my arch nemesis, DeMasque.
This guy's a real piece of work.
It's established that the sword's blunt, so if it makes sense he'd only have a bruise on the back of his head that's hidden by his hair or something.
Can you tell us a little more about what happened?
My opponent was both powerful and vicious. You might say he was paricious.
Paricious?
I assumed that he asked me fighting stance, but a sudden flash of light blinded me. That, of course, was checkmate. My opponent had bested me.
What do I do now? Should I ask more about this? So, was this flash of light that blinded you?
Yep, at me fighting stance.
I was bathed in a golden light. That seems to come from the statue of the woman. The statue of Amy Faye, I'm guessing.
Well, that wasn't much help at all. Well, what do you think, Nick?
Well, there's only one thing I'm absolutely sure of now.
Yeah, what is it?
This Look At Me guy. He's definitely hiding something.
But why?
I think I'm starting to figure out what really happened that night. And about the true nature of this detective.
Okay, let's ask him about this fighting style. Nolus, is the at me fighting style just a ta-da pose? Could be. Zero, you want to headlock him and noogie his head into the shape of a fruit ball. Okay, let's ask about the at me fighting style.
What is this at me fighting style?
I'm sorry, but that's a trade secret. I really can't say any more. Okay, but I suppose I can tell you if I absolutely must. The main thing is to put your back to the wall. That way no one can get behind you.
That's it. That's the at me fighting style.
Well, Mr. Wright? Well, Mr. Knight, what about that testimony? It was very important.
Of course it's important. We've learned a detective's secret technique after all.
Yeah? Yes, indeed. I'll remember to mute it if I ever take a walk alone late at night.
Why the heck is he eyeballing me like that? It's creeping me out.
It's because you're going to hire an assassin to kill him, isn't it, Nick? No less. Even fighting games know having your back at all wall is a bad thing. Not only can't you control distance, you're asking for a head injury. Yep, I mean, it's literally the idiom, backed against a wall. Zero. Hodo, you sneaked up from behind and hit me on the head from behind while I was using a fighting stance specifically designed to prevent someone hitting me from behind. Wait, no, I should read that in the Atme voice. Hodo, he sneaked up from behind and hit me on the head from behind while I was using a fighting stance specifically designed to prevent someone hitting me from behind. Now then, witness. We'll go ahead and add that secret information to your official testimony. Yeah, that's true, Nurless. His original testimony was that he was snuck upon, and now he's amended it to say he actually had a fight.
Where is this third eye you're talking about?
Oh, it's right between my right and left eyebrows. It's quite invisible to the unenlightened. You may call it the forehead if you like.
Why didn't you just say that in the first place?
Sir Lawyer, it looks like the creases in your own forehead are getting deeper. So Mr. Atme got hit in the forehead then?
That's what he says.
I've got a funny feeling about that.
Actually, so do I.
Well, what do you think, Nick?
Well, there's one thing that I'm absolutely sure of now.
Yeah, what is it?
This Luke Atme guy, he's definitely...
Okay, we've seen this. Ding.
Dear Detective Atme, your testimony is crumbling like a house of cards.
What fun this is, Sir Lawyer. It is a truly pleasure to cross swords with you. And now, once again, you have thrown down the gauntlets at my armored feet.
I believe this is what you said yesterday.
No, the coward must have wormed his way in through somewhere besides the door. Then my arch-nemesis struck me on the head from behind with this gruesome item here. And yes, Nurless, you're right, there's no bruise. Machine Nod Zero. Oh yes, he whacked me right between the eyes with the flat of a 7-bladed sword, and somehow I have no visible injuries and my eyes are just fine.
From behind, huh? But just now you testified that he struck you on the forehead. I hardly think you could forget where you were hit on the head.
It seems I've made another mistake.
Dear Detective Atme, that's not the only strange part of your testimony. What do you mean by that? For example, the very fact you hid the calling card from the police itself is strange. It's almost as if you're afraid they were going to help with security.
Ugh. Geniuses such as myself have always been misunderstood. No less. Attacking from the rear, that's a dash unethical. A chitty bang bang line that always lives rent free in your head. Nice. That's wrong.
Objection.
To err is human. To forgive, divine. Humans aren't machines. They have souls, feelings. They live, they die, they love, they hate, and yes, they even make mistakes. Hey, hold on. It's not as pretty as that. Really? What's it like then? Always chase a riddle down to the end. That's one of my rules. This is it. This might just be my chance to turn things around. Mr. Right? Wait, Mr. Right? What is exactly is that you're asserting, yeah? Very well, Your Honour. The defence asserts that. This Mr. Atme is a fake. Mr. Atme is Master DeMasque. The answer is simple. It's all clear to me now. Detective Luke Atme's true identity is actually DeMasque. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, what's the meaning of this? There are too many unnatural parts to Mr. Atme's story. He says he was hiding at the crime scenes, which is why no one ever saw him there. And then in his last case, he manages to outperform Detective Gumshoe and the entire police force to miraculously return the stolen treasure. That's because I analysed the crime scene data and made an exquisitely elegant deduction. I picked up the clues that the police overlooked in order to arrive at a... Oh, please. The explanation is far simpler than that, Detective Atme. The truth is that you are, in fact, Master DeMasque. But, Miss Knight, this photo, it clearly shows Master DeMasque, yeah? This security camera belongs to Lord Haley department store, yeah? He shouldn't have been able to manipulate it. He didn't need to manipulate it. He gained access to the warehouse under the pretense of providing security. Then he simply dressed up as the thief and stole the urn. So, yeah, the ace detective is actually an ace thief. Is this true, witness? DeMasque demo is pure genius, and so am I. Luke Atme, ace detective. You're very clever to have come to such a conclusion. I'm impressed, Sir Lawyer. Yeah? Witness? Yeah. You're admitting it? Nick, now's your chance. Yes, time to put the last nail in this guy's coffin.
Objection.
Ouch. Gordo Blend, number 102, my personal favourite. That's why I threw it away. Yeah, the eyes were pretty funny, Zero. Yeah, Mr. Gordo.
The ace detective is actually the ace thief. I smell a best-selling novel. There's only one problem. Simply isn't true.
But, yes, dear Goddo. Mr. Wright has made some very strong points, and I
admit, my opponent has woven a compelling narrative out of whole cloth. But it is, in fact, nothing more than a patchwork quilt, Mr. Twilight. If this detective really is the thief, then share us the proof of your claim. It had best be as hot and as perfect as the coffee dripping down your face.
Well, Miss Wright, don't just stand there. This court would like to see this decisive proof you have, quickly. Woo? What is it?
Yes, of course. What's the big rush?
Are you right, Nick?
I mean, it looks pretty rassled right now. I'd like to finish this right now if I can. But can I really do it? The decisive evidence that proves Mr. Look at Me is in fact DeMasque.
Let's just check the court record to find out.
Well, have you ever seen either of them in the same room before? Oh, look, if you just check their profiles, they say they're the same person. Proof? Of course, I've got nothing. Just what I thought. A man has to hold his head up high no matter how bad things get after all. I see. Yeah. I thought perhaps you had some evidence to back up your assertion. This is no good. I've got to stay on the attack. I'll never get another chance to prove this guy's the thief.
Don't give up, Nick. Think harder and try again.
It's no good. I'm just not ready yet.
But are you going to give up and just let us lose this?
So, you've come to your senses, have you, Sir Lawyer? I can't even think of a counterattack at all. It seems that the clouds of suspicion surrounding this witness have lifted. Mr. Gordo, if you have anything further to add then.
Okay, I'm kind of curious to learn who did this.
Who? Who are you?
Doesn't really matter right now, does it?
Mr. Light, what are you doing here?
Nicky boy. The thing you've been looking for. I think I found it.
You mean the bag?
No, not the bag. What's in the bag? Well,
that's...
the sacred urn. Nick, it's the urn.
Nyorda, Nyorda, Nyorda!
You, mad nyam. Okay, I'm going to drop the catgirl voice now.
That urn? Where'd you find it?
You'll never believe it. It was in the office of Mr. Fatty Pants, ace detective. Look at me.
Oh, Desi, you're the best.
Sacred urn updated in the court records. Found in the office of Luke Atme, has pink splotches all over it. Found it in Atme's personal private locker.
Well, how do you explain that one, Mr. Atme?
And also, it has this signed confession written by Atme himself. And here's a solicitor with his signature confirming it was notarized and witnessed. And look, he's actually wearing the costume right now.
Even you're going to have a hard time whizzing out of this one. Pathetic. Mr. Goddo, do you have something you wish to say? Yes, Your Honour. It simply amazes me how quickly times change. In the old days, a man was to be taken at his word. It's truly sad. You're still denying that Mr. Atme was involved? Before casting aspersions at the detective Atme, consider the young lady here.
Machine Lord Zero uploads porn to Goddo's visor. Does it work that way?
Your name is Desiree Delight. Is that correct?
Yes? What about it?
How charming. The lengths that a woman was willing to go to save her husband is truly inspiring.
Kiara, you've tried it, it just fries the TV. Okay. But what are you insinuating?
As the wife of the criminal, you could have discovered that stolen urn anywhere. Including the office of the good detective here. So you found the urn. Was that proof? It certainly doesn't prove where the urn was before you found it.
Judging by the accent on the E, you're pretty sure that's not how you pronounce Desiree. Desiree? What? I just brought it here from the detective's office.
Please, madame. This town is already filled to the brim with lies. Any more can only compound the tragedy we've been witness to.
You're wrong. I would never do such a thing.
Mr. Light?
Please, Nicky boy, you've got to help me talk some sense into these people. A short R sound and emphasis on Ria, you think? Desiree? Wait, Desiree? 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 Wait, Desiree? 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 I'm not good with name pronunciation. Yes, Zero. Defray. I'll have to look up the pronunciation of her name. Yep, the name has me in disarray.
There must be some way. I've got to prove that Ern was actually in the Atme Detective Agency. What's wrong? Isn't it your job to come up with something to say?
Nick, come on. It should be easy to prove. After all, we checked that bag, didn't we?
You're right. I remember doing that. Whatever's in there is hard and round, and smooth too.
Yes, it must have been the urn. It must have.
But I never actually saw it with my own eyes. Atme walked in just when I was about to have a look at it. So even if it was the urn, in there I can't testify that it was.
You're right.
Looks like I was wrong about you, Mr. Trite. In this town overflowing with lies, there's still a single flickering candle of truth.
Nicky boy.
Well, it's true that I never actually saw the urn, but maybe I can still testify about it from another angle.
Nolas, you googled, you think it's Desiree. Desiree. Okay, I can... No, Google, that wasn't an invitation to start searching. Stop that. Machine Lord Zero. MTH voice. Pink, pink, pink. What's MTH? Monarch the Hedgehog?
What about it, Mr. Wright? Have you given up yet?
Maximum the Hormone. Japanese metal band that did a song about Freezer. Okay.
There must be some way. I've got to prove that the urn was actually in the Aviary Detective Agency.
Fingerprints on the urn?
I can prove where the urn was by the fingerprints on it. Fingerprints, eh? Oh, come now. Now you're really making me laugh, Sir Lawyer. Fingerprints indeed. May I go on? Good. Now, it would be perfectly understandable if my fingerprints were on the urn. After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I'm always in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. So unfortunately, my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything. What about it, Mr. Wright? This witness's fingerprints would mean nothing anyway.
Nick, what are we going to do now?
I've come too far to turn back now. Amy must have brought the urn back to his office yesterday. And there, I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it.
Oh, Phoenix's fingerprints would be on it.
So, what's all this fuss about fingerprints, anyway? Mr. Atme, do you recall the events of yesterday?
Hey, Nick, come on, open this up.
Hey, wait a minute. We can't just open this private property.
Don't be such a fuddy-duddy. This is an important investigation. Zero, you don't need to finger the urn to guard it. Source used to be an actual real-life guard.
Okay.
Well, what's in there?
Hang on a sec. I'm taking it out now. Whatever it is, it feels kind of hard and smooth. Well, hello there. It's true that I didn't get a chance to look in the bag at the time, but I did touch what was inside. What? You touched it? And I remember it very well. It was smooth and hard.
Why does Phoenix have to keep saying that?
Well, that was just... Your Honour, I'd like the court to examine the fingerprints on that urn. If my fingerprints are on there, then it proves that the urn was in Detective Atme's office. Objection. Well, even if your fingerprints are on the urn, it still doesn't prove when they were put there, does it? Of course it does. What do you say?
It's not what I say, but what Adrian Andrews, the person in charge of the exhibition, said. I polished it until it was just about glowing. I thought maybe I could make it look more valuable.
If she polished it that much, she must have removed any and all fingerprints on it. And the only chance I had to get my fingerprints on it after that was yesterday at the Atme Detective Agency. This blend. Godot blend number 107. I've decided. It's a little too bitter after all.
think I'm going to have to call it at the end of this chapter because I'm losing my voice a bit.
Order! 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 I accept the defence's request. Bailiff, take this urn and... Wait a moment, Your Honor. There's no need for that. No need, you say? Precisely. I already know Mr. Wright's fingerprints are on the urn. What are you saying? Yes, I've finally broken him down. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown.
This guy's nuttier than a fruitcake.
You see, it was me all along. I'm the one and only DeMasque.
I hope you all enjoyed my little performance. Yep, why clans again, Nolus? Why clans again?
Well, Mr. Goddo, what's Mr. Atby's condition? He's still in the lobby laughing insanely, Your Honor. I wish I could enjoy the joke as much as he seems to be. Well, it looks like the matter has been settled. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of thief.
Oh. It would have been the Link's Awakening shopping incident all over again. Nick, you're right after all.
Yeah, I guess Mr. Delight wasn't the real thief. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight.
Okay. You're wrong. Wrong, I tell you. I mean, not exactly wrong so much, but actually not right is what I was really trying to say.
Oh no, he's not. This can't be happening.
Sorry for the burp. The thief. The sneaky, odious thief. He's been stealing all the treasures. It's me. I'm him. I'm the one you want. I'm the thief, I tell you. So do it. Pronounce me guilty, please.
I don't know what kind of kangaroo court you all think this is, but...
The true identity of the thief has already been proven. Please hurry and pasture. What are you talking about? I already confessed. I'm the thief, I tell you.
Mr. Goddo, don't just stand there drinking coffee. Huh. Hey there, Mr. Thief.
Yes, sir?
If you're really a man, then clean up your own mess.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't have any idea what you mean.
If you're Master Mask, then prove it. That's what it means.
Yes, sir. I'd be happy to. He says he'd be happy to, Nick. It's kind of cute. He's 100% committed to his fantasy.
Good boy. Just remember one thing. A boy only gets one chance in his life to become a man.
I know that. I won't fail, I swear.
Okay then, talk. We're all listening. Oh well, let's all have a listen to this confession.
Master Mask's identity. The truth is, I've been Master Mask all along. I mean, you can't prove I'm not actually Master Mask, can you? I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen, after all. The last thing you need, Ron needs is Goddo as an influence. I think you're right, Nolus. I think you're right. I donned my costume that night and dancily descended upon the scene of the crime. Look, you can see right there in the photo. That's me. As for my brooch, I snagged it on the door handle and it got torn off, that's all.
I don't like the direction this trial has taken.
But this is how every trial goes, at least with me anyway.
You're doing great.
Stop it, Mr. Goddo. You're embarrassing me. Okay, it's not really the kind of thing I'd normally say, but I have to say it. Rhonda Light has bottom energy. Bottom energy.
Like I said, you're only going to get one chance to testify, alright? But if you make it through with flying colours, I'll keep my promise too. I'll make sure you stay locked up in prison as the one and only true DeMasque.
Thanks so much, Mr. Goddo. I'll do my best.
But if you fail me, then perish.
Alright, Mr. Wright. It's time for the cross-examination. Yep, this is some very weird slash. Nolus, you don't think Atme had an explanation for the brooch? I mean, you're right.
You may think you're the real Master Mask, but your wife thinks you're delusional.
I haven't told Desi yet about my true identity, I mean. Believe me, I've got my reasons.
With the way your room is decked out, how could she not know about it?
Even thieves have complicated family situations, I suppose.
What should I do?
It sounds we're about to get sidetracked again.
So why are you withholding the truth from your wife?
Well, first of all, I don't think she believed me anyway. And second, if there's one thing Desi absolutely detests, it's criminals. Except people who speed, apparently. If that's the case, why did you ever start thieving to begin with? I was kind of hoping to make it to the end of the chapter, but I think I'm going to have to call it here because my voice is starting to go. You love my voiceovers, Kiara. Oh, thank you. Nolus, could be, Desiree framed at me somehow and is gaslighting her husband. Yeah, that'll be complicated. Well, anyway, we'll just find someone to raid and I'll rest my voice a bit. Glad you enjoyed it, Jan. Oh, hey, Sarah. You're glad you caught the end of the stream. I'm glad you made it to the end. Yeah, sorry, it's just about finishing up now. But literally, I don't think I can talk much longer, so let's just see who's online. Thanks for the shout out, Kiara. Let's see. Summer Bee's streaming Gibbous. A Cthulhu adventure. Guess it's between either Summer Bee or Danny the Phantom. Who's streaming the end of a D&D campaign, apparently. Yeah, I'll raid Summer Bee then. actual pays are a bit hard to read into unless you have a bit of background on them. Well, in any case, thanks all for dropping by, despite the change in schedule. Obviously, Monday will be business as usual, and I'll be streaming more Alien Isolation in cosplay, of course. So, yep, drop by to see me, see if I can survive that. Obviously, that'll be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Guild of Icons is back, so look forward to that. And with the last of energy of my voice, we're going in 3, 2, 1, and have a good evening.
Ooh. Thanks for the raid party, Brioche. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I'm Summer and I'm playing Give Us a Cthulhu Adventure. We're getting to the finale of